we've done the roots, square roots of numbers. What about the cube roots? Now remember, a cube root, here's a cube. So a cube root's property is that the sides are all the same. So the same depth, height and width. They are the same lengths. So this one, say for instance, this is 2 by 2 by 2. We'd say 2 cubed, and we call that cubed because we're making a cube. So 2 cubed means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And the symbol here, we had square root. Sometimes they put a little 2 in there. For the cube root symbol, we have that same, but we put a 3 in there. So the cube root of a number. Now again, you need to know the cube root of certain numbers. There's only a few you need to know. So the cube root of 1 is 1. The cube root of 8 is 2. And you can see where I'm going with this one. Cube root of 27 is 3. Cube root of 64 is 4. You probably don't need more than that. That should be fine. Again, the estimating, if you had to estimate, so let's just estimate this. Estimate the cube root of, let's put a number between here and here. Let's choose a number maybe halfway. So halfway between those two is about 16. So I want this, estimate the cube root of 16. As I said, it's about halfway, isn't it? It's 8. Actually, it's not halfway. It's closer to the 8. So I'm going to guess 2.4, maybe 2.5. Let's 2.4. Let's see if I'm right on that one there as well. So what other things do you need to know in the first section? Let's expand a bit more. Sometimes it might be going into algebra and you need to know how to do the algebra sections of these. So for instance, you could ask, let's go back to rule 3 here. They could ask you something like 2 to the power of 2x all to the power of 3. Now remember what happens here. Then the rule here means you multiply these powers here. Okay, so I've got to try and do that. You don't see it as 1 here, but it's actually 1. So I'm going to do 2 to the power of 3, which is 8, x to the power of 3. And so that's where you get that one there. Now, other ones you need to know, for instance, like a fractional algebra question. So they could have something like 16a squared over 8a to the 4. Now, remember, you cancel down here. Here, this is dividing, very similar to what we did here. A to the power of 2 divided by a to the power of 4 is a to the minus 2. Remember, we do 2 take away 4. 2 take away 4. And then we have, how many 8s in 16? I can cancel that down. So I have 2. So there's my answer there. But it's quite complicated, doesn't it? And you might need to spend time practicing that work there for yourselves. Then we go to some other sort of tricky questions as well. So it could be something where they give you part of the question and you need to complete it. So for instance, they could say to you 4x plus 1 equals 16. So now ask yourself, what's 4 to the power of what gives you 16? So the clue here is to try, you do 4 to the power of 1, 4 to the power of 2. Oh, 4 to the power of 2 equals 16, which therefore means that x plus 1 must equal 2. If x plus 1 equals 2, what do I add to 1 to make 2? 1. So x here is 1. And that's quite a nice one to do. Other things you might have to do, they could say to you 4 to the power of 3 times 4 to the power of n equals 4 to the power of 10. Remember, rule 1, you add the powers to make that number. So what do I add to 3 to make 10? What do I add to 3 to make 10? I add 7. And then that should be it for the powers and roots. There may be a bit more, but I reckon that's all you need for that. The next little video is going to be on looking at percentages. And for that, you probably need a calculator.